Why do men disappear for no apparent reason? This question often lingers in the minds of many women, seeking answers to a mystery that lies deep within the emotional psyche and societal pressures men face. Anakin Skywalker serves as a metaphor for this question. He too, seemingly out of nowhere, turned to the dark side, consumed by emotional storms, loneliness, and pressures. The reasons behind men's sudden withdrawal often stem from inner conflicts, expectations, and the societal roles imposed on them. Let's delve into these dynamics in detail. Men often struggle to express their emotions because society teaches them from a young age to be strong. Messages like "don't cry," "don't show weakness," "protect yourself" lead to the suppression of their emotional sides. Anakin Skywalker was also forced to hide his feelings constantly. The Jedi Council's expectations and his secret relationship with Padme drained him internally. Men disappearing often comes from this emotional repression. It may seem like nothing is wrong, but inside, a storm is raging. This emotional burden drives them to isolate themselves and withdraw. Societal pressures make it difficult for men to freely express who they are. They are expected to be strong, successful, and in control. These expectations place many men in an emotional prison. Like Anakin Skywalker, many men feel that the system they are part of doesn't understand them. This feeling pushes them to disappear, withdraw from society, and retreat into their own minds. Society's rigid rules make men question their own worth and lead to a crisis of meaning. Anakin tried to resolve this crisis by turning to the dark side, but it led him to even greater isolation. Men often avoid expressing their feelings because they believe they won't be heard or will be misunderstood. This sense of loneliness makes them increasingly isolated. Anakin Skywalker's constant exclusion by the Jedi Council and the dismissal of his feelings accelerated his loneliness and turned to the dark side. Another reason men disappear is loneliness. They scream internally, but this scream doesn't echo in the outside world. In such moments, they need someone who understands them, but often they don't find it. Therefore, they choose to withdraw into their own worlds. When men grow tired of everything and seem to disappear for no reason, it is often linked to burnout. Modern men face countless expectations. They must succeed in their careers, provide financial security, support their families, and still be emotionally available. These burdens lead them to experience physical and emotional burnout. Anakin Skywalker's disappointment in the Jedi Order and his constant feeling of inadequacy symbolize this burnout. Men, at some point, retreat to escape these burdens and choose to become invisible. Toxic relationships can make men feel worthless. Anakin's relationship with Padme was the greatest catalyst for his turn to the dark side. His fear of losing the woman he loved and his inability to protect her influenced all his decisions. Modern men face similar stress in relationships. The constant feeling of inadequacy pushes them to retreat. Toxic relationships reinforce their sense of worthlessness, and when they can't cope with these feelings, they see distancing themselves as a solution. A real-life example can effectively shed light on men's emotional struggles and inner conflicts. Ernest Hemingway, one of the strongest figures in the literary world, is known for his profound works and equally profound tragedies. Hemingway faced pressures from a young age, growing up in a demanding environment that left deep marks on his personality. The expectations of success and a strong father figure created a constant need for Hemingway to prove himself. However, these pressures led to inner conflicts. Hemingway's war experiences and traumas brought him face to face with depression, which also reflected in his writings. His works strikingly capture men's vulnerabilities and inner struggles. Hemingway's life, filled with loneliness and disappointments, offers insight into why men sometimes withdraw from everything. He too often retreated into his own world, distancing himself from those around him. Anakin Skywalker's turn to the dark side wasn't just about power, but also an escape. Men sometimes feel a similar desire to lean toward a dark side. It may be a rebellion against societal norms or an effort to find themselves, but this escape often leads to greater loneliness and confusion. Men's behaviors in these situations represent a search for identity. Anakin's transition to the dark side was as much about his quest for power as it was about finding his true self. Modern men are increasingly grappling with an identity crisis. In the past, masculinity was often defined by traditional roles: protector, provider, and leader. Today, these roles have become blurred, and men are expected to meet both traditional and modern expectations. These contradictions make them question who they are. This dilemma mirrors the identity crisis faced by modern men. Another reason men disappear is this crisis. Uncertainties about the future push them to retreat into themselves. Men, like Anakin Skywalker, often feel that the world around them doesn't understand them. They carry great potential, but emotional conflicts, loneliness, and disappointments sometimes lead them toward their dark sides. Anakin's story is a reflection of many men's inner worlds, a longing for love, a sense of not being understood, and a desire to belong. At the core of men's withdrawal and feeling like Anakin lies the sense of not being understood and their struggle to cope with emotional burdens. These feelings drive men to search for an escape. However, what matters is finding this escape in a healthy way and facing these feelings without being consumed by darkness.